Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Talent You Should Know, where we focus on the entertainment industry on a different level. Not only will there be artist and actor interviews of known and unknown talent, but insight into the team behind them that helps them build their brand. Each week, we'll tackle a different person in the industry with talents in their own rights. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Talent You Should Know. Tonight we have Trez Falsetto. How are you?
How you doing?
I am actually really good. I was just happy it really didn't snow too much out here in Denver, so I'm pretty happy. So how are you doing out there? You're in Charlotte, right?
Charlotte, North Carolina. So,
yeah.
So what's crazy is my hometown is getting snow right now. Raleigh, Durham area. Yeah. So that's they're getting a whole bunch of snow this weekend and earlier this week, but we didn't get none. And I'm like, dang, we only 2 hours away. I want a little bit of snow.
Yeah, until it comes there.
Yeah, that is true. But what you say? Be careful what you ask for, right?
Right. So, I want to start from the beginning because I really like your music and. Mm-hmm. But I want to start from the beginning from let's say college, I know that initially when you were in school, right, you were focusing primarily on basketball, right? Yeah. And so how was that transition from sports to music? Like, was it easy or?
Got you. Well, so I guess to give it more of a accurate background, I was playing basketball in high school,
right.
And then I was diagnosed with a heart condition my senior year of high school. So I was actually supposed to go off and play college ball. I had a few offers, a few looks, but that I kind of had to sideline my dreams of playing, on a serious level. So I ended up going to North Carolina Central, which is in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina, and so went there and. I always liked to sing. I grew up in the church and whatnot. So I used to sing around the dorm rooms. I sing in the dorms. I sing to the girls in the fall. So that was my thing. And then one day, my roommate just pretty much asked me like, man, you need to go ahead and like do one of these talent shows. In the yard, they have all the talent shows and stuff. And I did it. And, I felt like the same way that you feel in basketball when, the crowd's cheering you on. The whole. Yeah. So it kind of gave me that, the similar feeling, I guess you could say. And as far as like the transition it was easy because I've always been a competitive person. Yeah. So I kind of brought that competitiveness over to the music and trying to be an artist and trying to just be like the best, whatever I was doing, what I'm saying? So it was a smooth transition for sure.
Well, it seemed like you already had the tools too, because didn't you played trumpet and is it drums you play as well?
Yes. Yeah.
So you kind of already had those tools, right?
Exactly. Yeah. I played trumpet I didn't play that long because I initially wanted to play the drums, but when I was in middle school, to make the line, you pretty much had to play an instrument for the first 2 quarters. Mm-hmm. So, but I mean, it kind of worked out because I ended up learning how to read music. So, play a little bit of trumpet, and then of course, drumming was my thing. I was a nerd. It got to the point when I was in high school, I was so good, and I was like so into it. I used to try to hide it from my basketball team.
Really?
Yeah, I tell people all the time, I regret it because now I wish I can go back and actually march instead of just being in the class. You know what I'm saying? So drumming was my thing for sure.
When I went to high school, it was one of those things. So I played first clarinet all the way through middle school, but then in high school they had me choose between band and chorus. Yep, and I was just chorus, you know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So
gotcha. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how that went. But I think it's interesting also when we talk about those tools, because remember when Jamie Foxx won the Oscar for Ray, and he was talking about his grandmother who had him learn how to play the piano, and how just, doing that kind of helped him out later on in life. You know what I mean? That's why he won the Oscar. So
for sure. Yep. Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
One of my favorites too. I love Jamie. He cool dude.
Oh my gosh.
Super talented. I mean, out of this world talented. You know what I'm saying? So
because he's funny, he can act,
Yeah.
he can sing.
Yep.
He's just like,
Sing.
yeah.
A beast on the keys, you know what I'm
Oh my
saying? Like,
gosh.
it's pretty much jack of all trades.
Yeah. So in another interview around that same time, I think you talked about being like content or like, kind of
Yeah.
falling back into a rhythm locally,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So being that you have such a competitive nature, how do you think that you got in that rhythm and how did you
Mhm.
bring yourself out of it?
Yeah. So I would say what got me into that rhythm is I was kind of like, and I said this in a previous interview. I was kind of like in an ego battle with myself.
Got it.
Did I want to be a singer or did I want to be an artist? And it's
Mm,
sometimes it's really hard to put those two together.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, all right, am I gonna sing on Instagram and just do that all day, or am I gonna, sit back and get in the lab and actually
Yeah.
focus on? And so when I say content, I'm not gonna say I wasn't working at all. I just kind of went away from one thing and went to
Right.
another. Even though the one thing that I was doing in the beginning was what was giving me like the notoriety, you know what I'm saying? And so I should have really tried to find a way to mesh them in,
Yeah.
but I was young, and I didn't understand what was going on. And I've
Yeah.
never really been like we spoke about, I've never been a social media person. I
Right.
just did it because this is what I need to do to get to that level as an artist. So,
Yeah. So did Five Star find you or you found them?
so actually, I had a manager at the time that was actually, working with Five Star, kind of like doing some work with some of their artists. So it kind of was just like a mutual connection type of thing.
Yeah.
And of course, once my manager at the time, he linked me with him. He let him hear some of my music. I kind of did like a little show, like a little mini show in front of him,
Yeah.
like how I would be on stage. And from there, we just kind of clicked and. I was rocking with him, for a long time.
Yeah.
We did a lot of good things for sure.
It seemed like when you signed with them, like stuff really started picking up. Like you went on like stage with, Tank and Day 26 and
Yeah,
Velvet DeVoe. Like what was it like being on stage with like legends like that?
it was crazy.
Right?
I mean, to this day, and I say this literally every interview. I just think about it like, man, I really graced the stages with some legends. You know what I'm saying? And I was able to pick off of, or I guess you can say study and mimic each and every one of them in a
Mm-hmm.
sense. Like I would take something from Tank's show, right? I would take
Yeah.
something from New Edition and BBD show. Believe it or not, I'll take something from R. Kelly show when I did his, right? I would take something from everybody and kind of blend it all like a melting pot in a sense to kind of
Right.
give you that Trez Falsetto show. With me from my shows, I like a live atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like a host in a sense. Like I
Yeah.
kind of like it to where it's like it's a party. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like I kind of put everything in, and of course, you know what I'm saying, I love R&B, so it's always gonna be a musical. It's gonna be real musical. You know what I'm saying? The dancers, band, live DJ. So I kind of just took from everyone and just put it into my own little mix up.
Yeah. And I can kind of hear that in your music. Like even one of your first singles, Used to, which I
Yeah.
thought was like super, super dope because it was descriptive, but it wasn't vulgar. You know what I'm
Got you. Yeah.
saying? And I like that the melody and the track were on point. So
Yeah.
do you write all of your music?
Yeah, well, I would say like 80%. Sometimes if tracks come across me that's just dope and I just can't pass up. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, like, yeah, I want that. But it's funny about that Used to record. I actually, so I had a guy that produced the record, J Mac, the producer. He was
Uh-huh.
really plugged into a lot of labels, and he had, he had got in contact with an A&R for
Mhm.
Atlantic. So I actually wrote that record, submitted it for Trey Songz Camp, and then you can hear it in my voice.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to sound just like him because I
Yeah.
literally wrote it as
For
if
him.
he
Yeah.
was exactly. You know what I'm saying? They didn't pick it up.
Mhm.
But you can kind of hear like where my influence was on that record.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Do you
Used to dope.
No, yeah, I really like that, and I thought um it's interesting how you stayed consistent with your brand. Like it's not like you were doing show tunes and then you all of a sudden started doing something else. Like you've always
Yeah,
been super consistent, and that's so
that's true.
important when you're building your
I
reputation.
appreciate that. I
Um
appreciate you noticing that for real, for
oh
real. That's dope that you notice. A lot of people don't, notice that. That's what's up right there. That's super dope to hear. For real, for real.
Do you use a vocal coach?
So I actually had a vocal coach when I was at Central, and he died. He was a young guy.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He died out of nowhere, and so after him, I kind of like was just in a funk about getting another vocal coach. It was just weird for me,
Yeah.
just to think about being with someone else. But then I ended up getting another vocal coach about a year and a half ago before I moved from Raleigh, Durham, to come to Charlotte, and we worked for about a good 4 to 6 months, and then I ended up moving here. And as soon as I moved here, the pandemic hit, and
Yeah.
I've been kind of stuck in the house for a since. So I'm definitely thinking about getting another one, because when I was with both of my vocal coaches, like my range had got to another level.
I'm telling you, like
Yeah.
I remember, back in another lifetime, I was doing an EP, and my producer was like, "Hey, you need to go into, like, you can sing, but you sing it from your throat." And he said, "I don't have time to tell you how to, like, teach you how to not sing from your throat." And I got this vocal coach, and she changed my whole, from not singing out of my nose to like really just like lifting my head up, putting my tongue down in the back,
Tongue down. Yeah.
my life. I said, "Oh, okay."
When I got, so my second vocal coach, she was real. So my first vocal coach, he was more of a musical guy. So he was all about showing me how to like understand scales and understand like what I'm actually singing.
Yeah.
But this other lady, she was all about the vocals, like the muscle and how to
strengthen.
And I mean, she showed me how to like you said, with the tongue palate, she would make me sing a song. She would give me like something to put in my mouth to where I kept my mouth real wide open.
Yeah.
So I can actually pronunciate my words and actually have that air going through. Like it was crazy. Yeah. Super frustrating though. I mean, it's like an hour of you just saying weird stuff.
Right.
Like, exactly.
like, what are we doing right now?
Exactly. Like super. But I mean, like once you think about it, like you said, like, I would apply, the warm-ups and the breathing exercises like before shows or before, especially I do that before every studio session, and it immediately clears up the throat, makes you can feel the difference. You feel more like a, you know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy how you just brought that up. Like
it's so because you're dope. Like at first you're like, come on, man, and then you're like, I see what you're doing here.
For sure.
So one thing I liked is the fact that you give back, because when I was looking at your your behind the scenes, which was super dope, because people love behind the scenes. They love to see how everything is kind of going on. Right. And you talked about the Boys and Girls Club and how you give back to every year. And like the first year you helped 20 kids, and now you're up to, like 200, which is super, super dope, because you don't see that a lot. I used to do that a lot when I lived in Jersey, and we'd have like a whole, just like you do, like the ice machine and the blow up stuff. And so can you talk a little bit about, Boys and Girls Club and what it means to you?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, the Boys and Girls Club, has a crazy place in my heart. You know what I'm saying? I grew up at the Boys and Girls Club. It saved my life. I grew up in a rougher area, Durham. And so like the Boys and Girls Club was like the safe haven for me. In a sense. It kind of like got me like, if I never went to the Boys and Girls Club, I don't know where I'd be, honestly, because, I get off school and I could have been doing anything. It was, 2 streets down is crackheads, is this going on, is that going on. But the Boys and Girls Club, it was just a special place for me, and I grew up there. And then, of course, when I went to college, I ended up working there. So I worked there for 3-4 years.
Awesome.
Moved all the way up through, and then as I like graduated college, I'm like, man, like of course I couldn't go there like I wanted to. So it's like, how can I still impact the kids there? I actually built like a crazy bond with the kids there when I started working. I'm like, let me give back to some of them. You know what I'm saying? So started with 20. And then, so everything's like aligning though, because it's like, as I'm trying to grow my community service and my nonprofit things, my artistry and my name as an artist is starting to grow as well. So everything just started to come together, and it's like more people want to help me just because of what they see me doing musically, and it just all aligned until it's like now, like we have like a assembly line of how the event is going to take place. Like it's crazy, from the donors to sponsors. Like literally 200 to 300 kids have been taken care of each year for the last 2 years. Next year we're going for 500. Like,
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. So super dope, man. I love the Boys and Girls Club. I talk to the unit director there all the time. He's like my big brother. You know what I'm saying? He took me in when I was 13 years old, and he was a coach. He was a mentor. We hang out on the weekends. So it's like when I grew up and I was working there, the kids looked at me like I looked at him. Yeah. And it was just like a cycle. You know what I mean?
Isn't that beautiful though?
Oh man, it's crazy. It's crazy. You know.
And I think what's happening, and I'm sure you realize this, is when you're living your purpose and when you're doing what you were meant to do, then the universe pays you back in full. You know what I'm saying? So you're giving so much and you don't expect anything in return. And that's why you're getting so much, you know?
I appreciate it.
That's like the beautiful part about it.
For sure.
So is there going to be a part 2 to that documentary? I know there was an album that kind of had the same name as the documentary, but will there be a part 2 to that?
So what I think I'm going to do I think the next I'll show you is going to be more so like I'll show you like into my day-to-day as like an artist, like not necessarily. All right, so now you know about me personally. Now it's like come to the studio with me. You know what I'm saying? How it is beyond, behind the scenes on a music video.
Yeah.
How it is behind the scenes with the vocal coach.
Right.
Behind the scenes at interviews. So I think the next I'll show you is going to be like, instead of it being like a part 2, it's just going to be like a continuation. But now we're going to show you how it is, like what I do when I'm actually in Trez Falsetto mode.
Yeah.
So that's what I think I want to do. It's just been hard with the pandemic, because I don't want to, put my team in the risk of being around whatever, and I don't want to risk my family. I got a little 4-year-old, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to bring nothing back home, and so I've been kind of putting a lot of things on hold, but definitely, I'm praying that everything comes back, and things start to die down as far as this virus, and we can go back to a normal life. So
if people just stay home,
or put a mask on,
and stop thinking that this is, some sort of trick.
Yeah,
the trick's on you. Like,
mask up.
Another song I loved was "I Lied," and I thought you used your vibrato so well in this song. Yeah, I was just like, oh, like the control that you have over your voice is really, that's really amazing.
When I used to go with my vocal coach, she used to like make me stop using my vibrato so much.
Mine too.
Like, and it's crazy because it's like I never understood how to control it or what. Like, I didn't even realize what I was doing. Yeah, it was just something that's just a gift from God. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Having a strong vibrato where I can't really control. I have to like physically think about it to control it. Yeah, but she showed me different ways. But I've heard that a lot, like vibrato, and I have nice, like good tone. So I appreciate that. Clearly, you're a singer.
Oh yeah, I'm like in the music when I'm listening to it, and you probably do the same thing. It's like when you hear other songs, you listen to how they match the melody with the track, and you say, "Where did they find that? How did they
tone?"
Yes.
How do they play with the tone? How do they play with the melody?
Absolutely. And you're like, how did they come up? Okay, you know what?
Yeah. So I lied though. Back on I lied. I wrote that by myself, and that record was me literally just being honest in a sense. Yeah. Like kind of just like giving the women some like, all right, you're right about certain things. Yeah. Because sometimes you gotta do that as an artist. Like, a lot of times us as men, mainly men, we don't like to tell the truth. We like to just give our side. But I feel like in R&B, it's important to be truthful and to talk about that other side. Well, we ain't always, what I'm saying, black men don't cheat. Sometimes we do some mess up thing to women, you know what I'm saying? And so I feel like it was dope for me to kind of like let those women, out there that listen to me, hey, I understand, you know what I'm saying? But we make mistakes as well. Yeah. You ain't going crazy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I love I Lied. Super, super dope record. Like straight from the heart there.
I think the other thing you do really well are your covers. Like you're really smart with your remixes because you know that they're from someplace else, but you changed the vocals, and I loved Cell Phone. I thought that was really cool. And Jeep.
Okay. Yeah. Jeep
That was I was
Jeep was
like,
a musically. You see, I already know what you're about to say. Go ahead. All right. Musically, that song musically, like if you understand music and hear what I was doing and my producer, how we was
yes.
like meshing everything with even with the counter melodies in the background, like
You should have seen me. I was like, oh, I see this.
Like Jeepers, see, and that's the reason why I hate like where R&B is now. In a sense, I don't hate where it's at because everything does evolve. But I just think like, man, like people forget little things like that. Like people don't care about the like, man, like actually seeing what he did with the hook and how he matched the hook with the beat and how he literally like I rearranged the whole video to pay homage to a guy who was a legend. Now this is, this came out before all the craziness exploded.
Oh, I saw. By the way, I saw the video, right? And here's what I want to know, because I know you weren't playing bid whist, and I know y'all weren't playing spades, and I was already upset. What was the card game that y'all were playing?
I don't know what we was playing, honestly. I think we were just like literally trying to just act.
Okay.
And I was focusing on my cigar, so so I won't even. Hey, look, I hit it one time like. So I didn't even realize what the heck we was playing. We were just throwing cards out. See, I don't never be thinking that deep into it, So I just be like, man, look, y'all act like we playing a game, throwing out some random cards, you know what I'm saying?
And me and my crazy ass, this is me being like a nut. I think I was watching another one of your videos, and you popped a bottle of champagne in the jacuzzi.
I was like, oh, shit.
What happens to the water in the jacuzzi when they pop the bottle? I mean, does it get gross? Like, what are we?
You go real deep. You like a deep thing.
I've always wondered what happened. Like,
I want to drink that. That's crazy. That's crazy that you like really like you really watch the video. Like you're not gonna know. Like you're not gonna know none of that stuff unless you actually watch the video. So that's super dope. That's dope. That's funny.
One thing that you were talking about when we were talking about singing is I was doing an interview with Amadeus, and I said, one of my favorite, and it'll seem weird, one of my favorite pieces of a song was "Love the Way You Lie To" with Rihanna and Eminem. Do you remember that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember the record.
And at one point, she just holds this one note that, and then it goes right into Eminem's like hard, like hip hop bars. And you're just like, oh, the way people just think to arrange things. So, and I know that you think about it when you, you're working on your craft. So, I really appreciate it, and
I appreciate it. Yeah. When I'm in the studio, and the thing with me is like, and a lot of producers have said, it's like, man, you really hear everything. Like when I tell you, like, if I'm going ad lib, if I'm taking 30 minutes to do ad libs, I will literally like go back and forth because I want that track to feel so full. Like I'm like, hold on, let me put a breath right here.
Yeah.
Hey, let me put a right here. Let me punch something right here. It'd be the little things that create an entire masterpiece. You know what I'm saying? I really be on it, man. Like I try to do a process when I'm in the studio and I'm recording.
And a lot of people can't do vocal ranging like that. I could sing and I can write, right? But there was an arranger that I worked with, and he just knew, like, no, layer this, do this right here, just whisper this, and I'd be like, oh,
can hear it.
But the fact that you can
one
hear
whisper turn up the whole freaking one whisper can turn the whole freaking song into like, hold on,
right?
You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Because what people don't realize is the voice and the vocals is an instrument.
Yeah.
And just how you can play a billion different notes, or you can have a billion different sounds on a clarinet, and for your situation.
Yeah.
The same thing with the vocals. Like the vocals, the vocal cord is so powerful, and so many sounds that can come out of it. You don't realize it until you get in the lab and you start playing with those sounds. Especially now when we got all this crazy productions and stuff you can do with a press of a button. Like your voice is now 1,000 times more of an instrument than it ever was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like imagine Michael Jackson with this type of freaking like stuff that we using. Like he another level.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is like, so that stuff started coming out, and I was like, I said, I was working with a producer, and I'm like, can't you just fix that in the end? He's like, nah, I could,
Yeah,
but you
you're
gotta
gonna get
sing
it
it.
right.
He's like, but you gotta sing it right. Exactly. He's like, but you gotta do it
Yeah.
right. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what?
I've had like a crazy engineer who was I'm trying to think who was like my craziest engineer who was just like to the T, like Shaka. It was a guy named Shaka in Playground Studios. And like I used to dread going to the sessions because like I know how to arrange a little bit, but I'm not to that level to where it's like I'm talking about one song is 4 hours because we are literally perfecting each and every track from the background melodies to the punchlines to the layers. Like, and it's like one track, it's like at the end of the, you know how it's like you got like 10, 20 tracks. It was like 200 tracks on one song. Like, just OD, man. And I used to hate it, but now I think about it like, man, he was just like,
really,
because that's how they are in the industry. Like those guys, those big guys, you know what I'm saying, R&B cats. When they have that machine around them, that label, like, man, they are literally dissecting that track. Right. And, you know, they might take a whole day just to get that masterpiece. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely, you know what I'm saying, appreciated that.
One thing it seems like you live by in life is, I think you said your mom says, if you want something in life, go get it. But know that at any time it can be taken away. Like, I think it was a lesson she taught you when I think you were
basketball.
Like, with basketball. And I think that you carry that over, you know what I'm saying? Just for everything. And that's dope because it means you appreciate everything so much, you know?
Yeah. With with the heart condition, you know, when I realized I wasn't gonna be able to play like that, and that's all I did, like that's what I wanted to do. You know how all kids want to be a basketball or football player. You know, I really was die-hard basketball. Like I would literally get up in the morning, work out, go to school, go to practice, come home, work out in my house. And so it's like when that was just snatched away from me out of nowhere, I mean, you just got to think about what that does to a 17, 18-year-old kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even to this day, some days I can't watch basketball because I'm just not there. Like, I can't watch it. Like, you know, because it's still a part in me that I never really got to finish. I never really got to see how good I was going to get, you know? And so, my mom used to tell me, because when the doctor told me that day that I couldn't play and I would, you know, had to pretty much play recreationally, like I cried. And it was just me, the doctor, and my mom. And I'm 17, 18 years old. And I'm bawling tears. Like, hold on, you said I can't do what no more? Like,
you were about to John Q that hospital, like, no.
What? I'm like, nah, man, I need another opinion.
Yeah.
I need another opinion. Mind you, it's 18 doctors almost. it's like, look, man, we done had all the opinions. Like, because I had a team of doctors, you know what I'm saying? And, like, they literally, like, they, you know, they like did everything, checking my kidneys, they checked my heart, we did stress tests. Like when I went to school for like 2-3 days, I used to have this little black pack on me, and it would beep. It would beep every 45 minutes to an hour because it was checking my blood pressure and trying to figure out like what was causing my blood pressure to be up at 17, 18. Super embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like just things you would think a 17, 18-year-old kid would never have to, you know what I'm saying, go through. You know, I did it, and I'm glad I did it because you hear about all these people, you know, passing out and stuff. You know, it's one of those things I was really blessed. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? To be able to tell the story. Because they don't say
something's wrong or they ignore the signs and they're like, I'll be fine.
Yeah. So facts. And sometimes they don't even feel nothing. Yeah. You know, it was a silent killer. So
the other thing I want to talk about is you released this Christmas. I was like, how do you make a Christmas song sexy? But whatever. Yeah. Just because
man, I'm always want to do a Christmas song.
I said it was still true to it was still holiday, but still true to your brand, right? You know, this Christmas, all I can do is misses. I thought that was super cute. I really loved it.
Yeah,
you know?
I appreciate that.
I like that you just like, you're kind of getting back in, right? You're like, okay, don't forget, you know, this is, you know, I'm dope.
Yeah. Facts. Like don't forget, I can still get up here and you know what I'm saying, give y'all some real R&B. You know what I mean? So I just had to step in there for a little bit. I said, all right, bet, let me get back in my bubble.
Right. So one thing I want to know is because I know that it's not just singing. Like I know you invest. I know you do real estate. Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. You
So
did your homework. You did your homework.
oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I put
So
my hands in a few things.
how has this pandemic made you become how's it made you more creative? You know, because you've always said that you've always felt that you've been better than where you are in life. So
Hmm.
and I know you're trying to engage more. So how has, you know, having to be home made you kind of like really think outside the box?
Got you. For the most part, being at home really made me realize like it's really a power. Even though me and you said we don't really like the social media, but it is a power in it,
Yeah.
and it's an uncontrollable power, which in the next 5 years I can't even imagine where it's going to be.
Right.
But when it comes to like just being creative, like being here at the house, it limited my creativity on like as far as what I used to put out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it made me, it enhanced my creativity for things that like, you know what I'm saying? The stuff that I put out was actually stuff that came from the heart, like real R&B. I wasn't
Yeah.
talking about being in the club, and I wasn't talking about doing things that ain't none of us been doing for the last year.
Yeah.
So like the stuff that I put out was actually stuff that I like took my time with, and nothing was rushed. And I didn't care, you know what I'm saying, if it took me a little bit longer than normal, because I understood that this is coming from a different place now. You get
Right.
what I'm saying? So, and when it comes to like my team was really dope with being creative with this tour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This virtual media tour, like, just coming up with 20, 25 dates. Like, I think this is like, I don't know, I think this is like number 8 or 9 or something like that. And we got
Wow.
more in February, more in March. And I'm like, that was just super dope. Like, to be able to, connect with tastemakers like yourself and
Yeah.
influencers like yourself. And likewise, like, I'm pretty sure it's dope that you don't got to leave your house to
Facts.
touch all different artists, and
Yeah.
we all get to stay corona free.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But we all get to share each other's platform, and that's what
Yeah.
it's about. So
And I do like that, like in a way, like another thing that came out of it was Clubhouse, right? Which
yeah, exactly.
unfolded, you know, as far as my networking thing, because I'm really one of those people who will like hit your DM and then hit your email and then wait and then hit you know, but Clubhouse
Yeah,
really kind of like changed the whole
yeah,
dynamic.
for sure,
And
for sure.
so it's like, and not in just an entertainment way, because one thing I like about you and one thing I want to make sure that like, you know, just people in entertainment really understand is the importance of diversifying, right?
For sure.
And the fact that you have your sports management degree
Yeah,
is super, super smart. And I say that because you also do forex and you also do real estate, right?
yeah,
And that
yeah,
gives me Jay-Z vibes in a way I can't explain, because he's not just a hip hop artist, right?
for sure, for
He
sure.
has a sports management agency. He has Rock Nation. He has the marijuana. He has this. So, do
Yeah,
you have like a master plan to
yeah,
connect all of this somehow?
yeah. I mean, for the most part, I always live by when it comes to like once I start realizing, like, man, I actually I'm being skilled. Not to be to toot my own horn, but once I realized I started becoming skilled in different things, and I start reading a lot more and learning a lot more, I'm like, all right, one of these things is gonna pop. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And one of it's gonna blow up. And it's like, for me, it started off with forex. Forex allowed me to leave my job, and I actually learned forex, like
Yeah.
understanding the economics behind it, and understanding interest rates, and understanding, how to read these,
Signals.
economic
Yeah.
indicators. Yeah, like all that good stuff. That's the real stuff about forex. So I leave my job, and that gave me an opportunity to learn real estate and develop an understanding for real estate and the different avenues that you
Yeah.
can make money. Everybody thinks real estate, you just think realtor. It's so many different ways you can make money outside of being
Yeah.
a realtor.
Yeah.
In quicker money and faster money, and sometimes you make more money. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So what I want to do ultimately, especially with the sports agency, with a sports management degree, I want to ultimately be able to create my own firm. So is the money going to come from forex? Is it going to come from real estate? I don't know where it's going to come for me
Right.
to actually pour it all, but I know I have enough things going, a lot of trades that I'm putting my eggs in. I'm sprinkling
Yeah.
eggs in, because eventually something's going to hatch to another level. And
Right.
what I want to do is I want to create like a firm all black firm, where the agents are black. And not trying to, separate or not allow people in, but I want to have something for us.
Right.
I want to have an agency for us.
Yeah.
And I want to represent kids that came from the same neighborhood that I came from. The type of neighborhoods that I came from, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Low economic, or under, lower middle class neighborhoods. So, that's my ultimate goal when it comes to the sports management.
Yeah.
Because I've always been involved in sports. So I always knew once I got my master's in sports management, I'm going to use it eventually.
Yeah.
But like most things, it takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day. So I'm just trying to I'm just planting my seeds,
right.
I'm saying, in different places, because I know eventually, as long as I continue to get better at different things, even if it's music, I might strike a deal and might be able to put the deal money into real estate and flip some houses. And then, so everything's going to kind of be full circle, full surface. I gotta be patient with it. And what I'm saying, when the time comes, you'll be one of the first people to see it for sure.
Well, I know, because I watch. So
you get all the details too. You're gonna be like, he told me he was gonna do it just like this, and then he's gonna do this. Like, yeah.
But
so, for sure.
And I'll keep in touch after this. I'm really kind of good with that. Like,
for sure. Me too.
That's the one thing. Like, sometimes, and I don't know if you feel like this, is I will sit here and I'll be literally exhausted from all of the things that, like, I have a 9-to-5, right? And then I do about 3 interviews a week. But then I'm also investing. Like, I do the stocks, and then I'm like, okay, well, what is crypto doing right now? Okay, let me watch this. But then I'm also trying to plan a virtual conference for the summertime, which we'll talk about.
Okay.
So it's one of those things. How does it all come together, right? Yeah. And that's for you to even just be as energetic as you are now. I know, like, after this, you're gonna be able to, like, listen.
I mean, this is the thing, and I was telling my management, I had I had an interview yesterday. I had to cancel. It was just a lot going on mentally. So sometimes you gotta check yourself out and just reevaluate. But it's one of those things. I have created like I'm just always wired. Whatever I'm doing, like we just said, whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna give it my all. But if I can't give it my all, I won't do it.
So, is there anything coming up that we should know about, that we should look out for?
Yes, we're in the planning phase of the VIP room video. So we should be shooting that within the next 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. And I'm not going to waste no time with it. As soon as we shoot it, we're going to go ahead and try to, put it out there for the people. Yeah. And I'm thinking about, so I have this record that I've been sitting on for years. It's like a crossover record. And I kind of want to dip my feet in crossover, like Popish. So it's called I Should Have Known. And I'm actually thinking about putting that out next as like a test the water single, because it's like I'm independent, so I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking to go crossover a little bit this year. You know what I'm saying? I want to try something different, and of course continue to engage with the following, engage with the supporters.
Yes.
Still got a few more dates on this virtual media tour. So, we're going to run this thing out. Hopefully the virus dies down soon so we can get back on stage. Yeah. So, well, please let everyone know where they can find you. Got you. I like to keep it all consistent. Trez Falsetto. You can follow me on all streaming outlets, all social media platforms, anywhere you can buy music, stream music, download Trez Falsetto. Well, thank you so much for coming on my show. I had such a ball with you, man. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Talent You Should Know. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel as well as leave a review. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.